Hello, my dear kids. I'm Selan Jose, a social science teacher. Yes, today we are going to discuss few concepts from political science. The first lesson: what is democracy and why democracy? See, from our previous classes onwards, we heard a lot about democracy. We all know, and we all of us are proud about the people or the citizen belong to the world's largest democracy. Which is the largest democracy in the world? No need of any doubt. India is the largest democracy in the world. See, on that context, we have to discuss some core things related to democracy. See, in our previous classes, small classes, we had a lot of things related to democracy. See, what are the things that we heard about the democracy? And we had done a lot of things, a lot of activities related to democracy. What are the things? When we start discussing about democracy, a simple question came to our mind. What is democracy? We can define democracy in different ways. When we think about democracy, we also have to think another concept: non-democracies. Democracy is a form of administration. What is democracy? Democracy is a form of administration. Then what are the other forms of administration? We can divide it. We can divide it, the forms of administration, into two broad categories. Which are the two broad categories of administration? First one is democracy, and second one is non-democratic. We can divide it: democratic rules and non-democratic rules. Democratic rules and non-democratic rules. Then before going to the core, that is democracy, we must think, we must do some comparison with democracy and non-democracies. Have you heard about non-democracies? Before going to the democracy and non-democracies, we must recall. Let us recall something we have learned in our previous classes related to non-democracies. See, not only non-democracies, democracies also we have learned. Democracy, no need of thinking more about a democracy. Example of democracy: India is a better example of democracy. We all are, the citizens belong to the world's best form of democracy. At the same time, have you heard, can you recall which are the non-democratic forms of government? Which are the non-democratic forms of government? Let us recall. First of all, military rule. Have you heard about military rule? Definitely you heard about the military rule which existing in Pakistan, right? And kingship. From our very earlier times onwards, we heard a lot of stories from our grandmothers. Most of the stories are telling or handling about a king and their family or their activities. So, kingship is another form of non-democratic government. See, then military rule, kingship, then a lot of autocratic rulers were there in the world different times. Autocracy, then plutocracy. You know what is plutocracy? Go and Google it. It is an amazing term, plutocracy. Bureaucracy also you may be heard. Bureaucracy, we know the rule by bureaucrats. Who is a bureaucrat? Bureaucrat means officials. Yes. See, these are the forms of non-democratic government. Here, we have to explore some features of non-democratic government. What are the features of non-democratic government? In a non-democratic government, suppose that we are under the rule of a king, do we have right to choose our ruler? Do we have right to choose our king? Definitely no. That is the first feature of non-democratic government. We have no right to choose or change our ruler. We have no right to choose or change our ruler. Clear? And another one, we know in India is a democratic nation. Thousands of political parties are there. Am I right? See, in a non-democratic government, there was or there is no chance for such large number of political parties. There is no chance for the formation of political parties. Suppose anyone want to form a political party, they must seek the consent of the existing power. So it is hardly possible to form such kind of a political party. That means in non-democracies we can't see political parties or such kind of political associations. And in India we have freedom because our nation is an independent nation, independent democratic nation. But the nations which having non-democratic rule, not enough freedom is given to the people, the citizen. Actually, not democracy is called the people as a citizen, not a citizen. Democracies we call citizens of democratic nation. At the same time, in non-democratic, they known as people. Is it clear? The people have no freedom. They have no freedom to criticize the ruler. If any person, any people who criticize the king, then punishment will come. Is it clear? They have no freedom. Freedom to protest, freedom to criticize, freedom to express their views. Is it clear? That is another feature of democracy. And that is also the people have no right to express their uh, displeasure. Suppose in democracy we have a ruler, we have a minister. Suppose we are not ready to accept that minister, then we have a right to criticize him, and we can or we have a right to show our displeasure against him. Clear? But unfortunately, in non democracies, any person maybe or might have felt something bad, some displeasure against the ruler, but they have no right to criticize the ruler or the non democratic ruler. Is it clear? These are the main features of non democracies. Non democracies, people have no right to choose or change their rulers. People have no right to uh, criticize the government. People have no freedom. People have no freedom to talk, freedom to express, and even they have no freedom to uh, show their dislike against the ruler. At the same time, when we come to the democracy, lot of features, lot of positive features we can see in democracy. See, now we have to move or shift to a core subject, democracy, core concept of democracy. What is democracy? The first thing we have to do in this chapter to give a definition. We have to define democracy. A simple definition we have to give to democracy first. What is the simple definition? I know all of us, all the people, those who are living in India, especially in the ninth standard students, you know what is the definition of democracy. What is democracy? Can you guess that definition? Yes, democracy is a form of government. People can choose their representatives, rulers. The power is in our hand to choose our rulers or elect our rulers. That is the definition, a simple definition of democracy. In a democracy is a form of government. People have a right to choose our ruler. Clear? But in non-democracies, it is not possible to choose our ruler by ourselves. That is in democracy. Democracy, we can choose our ruler. We can change our ruler. Suppose he is not fit for us, then we can change. Definitely, we can change our rulers. See, in this chapter, we mainly going to discuss about the simple definition. Actually, from this simple definition, we are going to start a journey. Then when will end up? When will stop this? When will we stop this journey? Can you guess? Definitely, we will stop when we reach the last lesson of the last module of the last lesson in 10th standard, not in ninth standard. Now we start a journey, a tour with political science from this first lesson, first concept. And when we reach into the last module of the last lesson, that time only we have to conclude our journey. We have to stop our journey along with the democracy, the concept of democracy. On that time, you must you must be able to define what is democracy, and you can also think what are the vibrant features of, and you must be able to think and able to talk about the vibrant features of democracy and amazing form of administration. Is it clear? See, now we have to think what are the key features of uh, democracy. Okay, let's list out that major features of democracy. What are the major features of democracy? See, first feature of democracy, major decisions by elected leaders. What is the first feature of democracy? All major decisions are taken by elected leader. Who will take the decision? All major decisions will take by the elected leader by the people. That is the first feature of democracy. Non-democracy is we can't see such kind of an amazing feature and brilliant technology to take decisions. First feature is major decisions by elected ruler or elected leader. What is the second feature? Second feature of democracy, it is having democracy having free and fair elections, electoral competitions. What is the second feature? Democracy have a free and fair electoral competition. Elections may be having some non-democracies or a bad democracies also having elections, but here elections must be free and fair. What do you mean by free and fair? Free from all other corruptions, all other malpractices. Election should be fair, without any malpractices, without any fraudness. Elections should be pure, free, and fair elections. Then only we can call it as a democracy. Is it clear? Then the second feature is democracy have free and fair elections. Free and fair elections. Is it clear? Then which is the next feature of democracy? That is one person in democracy, one person, one vote, and one value. Is it clear? In democracy, one person, one out, one value. That means in democracies, all people are equal without giving any weightage to anyone. The person, president of India, having one out. Prime Minister of India also have one out. The person who live in utter economic conditions, very economic, poor economic background or a backward society, everyone have the same one vote, and that vote is count as one. The same value is there in the all art cost, whether by cast by the first person of India or any other backward person or any other person. That means all people are considered as equal weightage is given to all others, all citizen. One one not one person, one not one value. Then final, we have to discuss about the only four features of democracy in your lesson. Which is the fourth feature of democracy? Rule of law and respect for rights. Rights. It is a broad concept. This is the time you may be heard about that one black man was killed by white people in America very recently, the last week. All newspapers, all channels, and everyone is criticizing. And now also that people of America conducting protest meetings and protest activities against the government action or that police persons. That means people of the world or the country, democratic country, have right to live. As an Indian citizen, we have a lot of rights. Only democracies we have right. Keep it in mind, democracy is offering a lot of rights to the people. And also democracy is giving respect to all citizen. It is respecting the right of the citizen, and it is also work based on rule of laws. A lot of rules and regulations should be there in a democracy. Based on that rule of laws, it is working. These are the four key features of democracy. Major decisions by elected leaders. That means the major decisions are taken by the elected leaders. Then second one, free and fair elections should conducted. Elections should be, electoral competition should be free and fair manner. And one person, one vote, and one value. Then finally, rule of law and respect for rights. Okay. See, I think the four features or four key features you have understood. See, next module we have to discuss. We want to discuss about more details about four key features. Is it clear? See, what are the things we have learned in this lesson or in this introductory part? There we had discussed two kinds of administration: democratic and non-democratic administration. Then a simple definition of democracy. Democracy is a form of government which is the rulers are elected by the people. And then we have discussed about key features of democracy. Next module we have to discuss more about the key features. Thank you.